Yo, 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 what is up, YouTube boxing family? It's K right here. I'm back with another good video for y'all today. Um, Wanted to talk about Mr. Austin Williams. He will be going up against Kieran Conway, in which this is a pretty good fight. I just figured that I talk about this fight. Um, Austin Williams out of Houston, Texas, will be having his showdown against Kieran Conway. He's a Austin is 11-0. He has no losses, no draws. I believe as far as his box rec goes, as far as knockouts, let me just take a look at that real quick. Um, I think his knockout is about 9 knockouts. Yeah, so he has about 9 knockouts out of his 11 victories. He's 26 years old. He has a 78-inch arm reach, and he is 6 foot, 6 foot to be exact, in height. He's been professional for about 3 years, ever since 2019. He's had a pretty good, upstart, but ever since then, he wasn't really too hyper active in the following years. He did good in 2019. He fought like 4 times, and then 2020 he only fought like what, one, two, three, yeah, 3 times. So I mean, he's doing his part to stay busy. He only fought twice in 2021, and then 2022 we see him back in the ring very soon. So um, yeah, that was a great fighting schedule for him. And now that we are heading into his 12th professional bout, he will now be contending for the WBA International Middleweight title. And for those of you that don't know about the WBA International Middleweight title, I believe that puts you up higher in the WBA rankings to be closer to a world title. And I think as of now, Triple G, he's now the champion in that division. So I mean, it's really going to speak a lot of volumes if Austin can get the WBA title vacancy, because I don't think Triple G is going to stay as a champion at 160. I think you know, after Canelo beats him, I think Canelo's going to destroy him. Austin will be fighting on the Canelo Triple G card, so uh coming up for this Saturday. So I think this fight speaks a lot of volumes to where he needs to be, and he's going up against a pretty game-bred opponent, Kieran Conway. He's only lost 2 times out of his entire career. Um, he's 18-2-1. Only had one draw out of his entire career. That was against Ted Cheeseman, in which he's an absolute bum. He's not that good of a fighter himself, but he's okay. I mean, he got stopped, by Troy Williamson, which was mad funny. But yeah, man. I mean, everything with Mr. Kieran Conway. This will be a pretty good fight. He's out of the United Kingdom, out of Northamptonshire, UK. He's been pro for a good 5 years, predating to 2017. He's only had 4 knockouts his entire career, so um, I'm not really too fond of him really fighting at middleweight, and I don't think he's going to stay in the division for that much longer. Because Kieran, he doesn't really have that much of a punch. Some people may say he can hit, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think he's gonna be taking out any of the killers in the top 10. But for Austin Williams, who is a top 100 fighter, um, he's obviously a top 25 fighter right now on BoxRec, but he is number three American middleweight out of the entire division, out of 262 middleweights. So yeah, I mean Austin, he's a real deal. He's a very destructive power puncher, boxer puncher, if you will. The biggest weakness out of Austin's, you know, fight game would probably be his ring IQ, and I think that's yet to be tested, because I think what's going to end up happening is just that he's gonna have to face some adversity when he does get hurt. And I mean, he definitely recovers extremely quickly whenever somebody does clip him, with something huge. And I think the best fight to really look at that for is the Dennis Duglin fight. I think that speaks a lot of volume out of what we're seeing. And yeah, I mean, Austin, he doesn't really have too much of a really weakness for making adjustments in a fight. But I think the problem is just that whenever he throws punches, like he needs to start conserving his energy a lot better with his stamina, because his stamina is a little bit weak at times. But I think that all comes in with the experience for him to just keep getting better. And I think that's gonna really speak a lot of volumes to determine how good he will be heading into the big dogs in the division. Um, he will be the second to last two fights on the card. He will be pretty much at the third to last co-main event fight. So he will be opening up the main portion of the card for the last two fights with Canelo and Triple G. Um, there's some good competition on this card, man. We got Diego Pacheco. He's back in the ring against a very tough, game-bred opponent, Enrique Collazo. Um, I don't know too much about this guy. I've heard some things about him, but I don't really know too much about him. So I mean, if if Diego comes out and starts basically swinging on Enrique and he just defeats him and destroys him, then I really don't think too much about how should I say effort he really did to really get the victory. Because I don't know, man. I think Diego, he just needs he needs bigger competition at this point, and I think he will get it. He just needs to start demanding these bigger fights when the opportunity is set in stone for him. But he has to go through Enrique Collazo, and this will probably be a pretty tough fight. Um, this is for the WBC United States BC silver super middleweight title. So this is probably a good chance for him to, get up in those rankings, and then he'll be closer to getting his title opportunity. And then you have Ali Akameda. He'll be going up against Gabe Rosado. That'll be a good fight. You also have Fernando Molina. I've seen this kid fight before on a couple PBC cards, and yeah, he's a very, very good fighter. He's not too much of a puncher, but he definitely knows how to have a good work rate against you. But he'll be going up against Aaron Aponte, which I think Aaron Aponte, I think he might sleep him in this fight. And Aaron, he got power, man. He definitely knows how to really take people out. Whenever he sees the opportunity. He doesn't really punch as deadly compared to most fighters at 140, but he definitely has like a volume punching type of power. So I think Fernando's going to be a pretty good measuring stick of who's going to start shooting out more to get the betterment of the exchanges. But I think Aaron Aponte, he's gonna come out, and he's gonna come out blazing hot, against Fernando. But I think this will be a pretty good classical Mexico versus Puerto Rico type of matchup. Yeah, Aaron's I think he's like Puerto Rican and Argentinian, so yeah, it's gonna be a pretty good preliminary fight. You also have Anthony Herrera. I don't really think too highly of him now. But he is fighting on this card against Devin McKinley. Um, this will be his fourth fight heading into his career. Devin McKinley, he's not that good of a fighter. 26 years old. He's 4-3-1, if I'm not mistaken, and yeah, he hasn't really been doing pretty good. He got stopped by Emmanuel Rodriguez, who's a very difficult fighter, very dangerous fighter, just to be exact. But yeah, there's some pretty good hard opposition he's been in there with Nico Hernandez, Rensley Washington the third. Yeah, I mean he's really nobody, but still, yeah. I mean, I'm probably gonna ride with Anthony's. Just knocking him out. I don't see too much out of him that would give me anything to believe that Delvin's gonna beat Anthony. But yeah, that should be a good fight. And then obviously with Ali Akameda versus Gabe Rosado, definitely looking forward for that one. I think Ali's just gonna smoke him. I mean, depending on how much improvement he's had since the Carlos Gongora loss, but I don't know. I think at this point, there's really nothing I can really say about him. Cause he's been fighting like very weak opposition, like Paul Valenzuela Jr., a 35-year-old bum. David Zagara, yeah, he's not that good. Like they just been feeding him just weak competition, and you know, honestly, I might have to go with Gabriel Rosado, man, because honestly, he's gonna have his Arturo Gatti moments in this fight, and I think that's what's gonna end up making this fight a lot interesting on the card. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward for this fight. Um, but yeah, that it's gonna be a good fight. It's gonna be a 10 rounder at the super middleweight division. But yeah, let's talk about Mark Castro versus Kevin Montiel Mendoza. Yeah, I'm probably gonna go with Mark Castro. I don't know too much about this Kevin dude. I mean, he is 23 years old, and he could very well come in there and just destroy Mark. So yeah, I'm not too big on Mark Castro. He pretty much proves to me that he's not that good of a fighter. He fights to the level of his opposition, and honestly, the biggest fight out of the entire fight he's ever been exposed by was by Julio Madera, and Julio dropped him, and he wasn't able to finish Mark, but he should have been able to hurt Mark a lot more. But yeah, that was one of Mark's like crappiest performances, and he didn't do anything good. He just really made himself look very hyper stationary and just fight off of his bicycle. So I mean, I'm not really too keen on Mark Castro. I'd like to see him get whipped on by Keyshawn Davis, but either way, like this is clearly showing that Mark Castro, if he's getting touched up by limited opposition or by weak opposition, it clearly shows he's fighting to the level of his competition. So um, yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what this Mexican opponent he's fighting will do to him. But yeah, that should be interesting. So yeah, he's 7-1-2. He's only lost one time. That was to a unanimous decision against Christian Zacarias Sanchez. Don't know who the hell this guy is, but I'm pretty sure he had some decent skills. But yeah, I mean, either way, it's just like this opponent, he's probably game bred. He probably has something to win coming into this fight, but he's only had two draws against two opponents that he actually had a pretty tough war with. Otha Jones, the third, in which he's a brother of O'Shea Jones, the third. Yeah, O'Shea Jones. My bad, but yeah, I mean, Otha, he's okay. I mean, he's been so inactive ever since he lost, and I don't know what's been happening with him, but he's just been very, very just quiet. But I think his career's over. He doesn't, he's not taking the sport seriously anymore. So yeah, I don't really know too much about that. But moving forward with that, that's pretty much it with this card. I mean, nothing, nothing interesting. I mean, yeah, Jesse Bam Bam Rodriguez, he's fighting to make his title defense against Israel Gonzalez. So um, that should be a pretty, interesting fight. He's 25 years old. He's been in there with like a lot of deadly opposition. Jerwin Anjakas, Khalid Yafai, Roman Chocolatito. Gonzalez. Yeah, he's been in there with some really tough dogs. So I think Jesse, he's in for a absolute beatdown type of war. So it's gonna be interesting to see what Jesse does. So yeah, that's pretty much it of how I see it between Austin and Kieran. So like I know that it was supposed to be between them, but I think Austin's gonna destroy Kieran Conway, but it's not gonna be an easy fight because Kieran he knows how to box. He has good boxing skills, but the thing about it with him is that once he gets tired and once you hurt him a couple times to make the fight your fight, then he's pretty much easy for you to take him down. It's just that Austin he needs to load his shots up right to hurt Kieran to the point of actually stopping him. So but I think Austin, he's gonna cruise right through him to a decision, and it's gonna be interesting. They're both 26 years old, so they have a lot to win and a lot to gain, depending on who wins. But I think Austin, he's gonna, come out blazing hot, and I think Kieran, he's gonna try his hardest, but I think those middle to late rounds is what's gonna haunt him, and he'll probably end up, breaking down a lot quicker. So, yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know how you guys see this fight, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.